Welcome to today's COVID 19 update. We're speaking with the Honorable Minister of Health, Dr. Frank Anthony. Minister Anthony, thank you so much for speaking with us.
Well, thank you very much for having me on the program.
Yes, sir. All right, so yesterday we had the launch of the vaccination program for adolescents across the country. Just wanted to ask you, how was the launch and basically how many students would have participated yesterday?
I think we had a very good launch. We had initially catered for about 100 students to start the program off, um, but there were lots of people who came off the streets basically with their parents to get vaccinated. So they were among the first people who got vaccinated. And that's good to know because a lot of people are interested in getting their children vaccinated so that they can go back to school. We were extremely pleased by that type of response. And I think we are going to continue to see that type of response as we move the vaccination program around the country. Vaccination is nothing new to our society. We have been doing vaccination. We have been doing very well with vaccination. It's just that there might be a mixture of reasons why people, especially adults, are hesitant, and a lot of that is driven by misinformation rather than them, you know, finding the facts and using those facts to guide their decision making. We would be able to dispel some of that misinformation if we have community leaders, leaders in the different opposition parties who are more responsible and who would desist from spreading this type of misinformation as well. I think if we all can come together and make sure that people are provided with the right information, then we'll be assisting those persons to make proper decision and to get vaccinated. So yesterday at the end of the day, we got more than 200. I think it was about 213 persons who got their vaccines. So we'll be doing a special vaccination drive, which would be at Movie Town. We want to start from about 8:30 in the morning and go at least until 3. This one is a special one for persons between the ages of just under 18 and up to 12. And so anybody that meet that age criteria can come and get vaccinated. Of course, we'll be using the Pfizer vaccine for this age group because it's the vaccine that has been approved for this age group. Pfizer, as you know, would have gotten full approval for its vaccine for persons 16 years and above. And they have emergency use authorization for vaccines between 12 to 16. So there are two things. One, we want to verify the age of the person, and to do that, if you have some identification that allows us to do that, then that's fine. The most common one would be your birth certificate, so that we can see your date of birth. But if you have some other form of identification, like some people might have their national ID card, those who are a little bit older, then they can use that as well. And then the other thing that we want to know is that because you're below the ages of 18, you will need to get parental consent. And you either would download the form that is on the Ministry of Education website and get your parents to sign it, and you will walk with that consent form. The people coming for the drive-through, you can come with your parents, and if you do that, we will have forms on site where the parent can sign those forms and tender them at the time of the vaccination. the common side effects that one should look out for would include the site of the, when you get a vaccine, at that site where you got the injection, you can feel a bit of pain. There can be a little bit of soreness, redness. Some people would get muscle pain, some people would get a little bit of fever, but a lot of these things would go away after a 24-hour period. And, you take a Panadol, that should help you. But if these signs and symptoms persist, then we have the hotlines that we'd like you to call and let us know. And we'll then be able to give you additional advice. Region 3, we have, I would consider a hotspot in the Tushin area. We have now 23 cases there. Region 4, on the east bank of Demerara, we have about 3 areas where we have a number of cases. Diamond, we continue to have cases there. Right now we have 39 cases in Diamond. In Grove, we have 31 cases, and in Timeri, we have 27 cases. On the East Coast, the area with the highest cases on the East Coast would be Better Hope, where we now have about 21 cases. Georgetown, we have seen a number of areas in Georgetown with fairly high level of cases. In Sophia, we have 45 cases right now. In Kitty, 35 cases. In South Rheinveld, we have 32 cases. Camberville, we have 32 cases. Cummins Lodge, we have 28 cases. Lodge, we have 28 cases. In Region 6, New Amsterdam, we now have 30 active cases. Region 7, in Bartica, we have 33 active cases. And in Region 9, in a village called Marywow, we have 35 cases. In Wisma, we have 18 cases. And in the Linden Hospital, we have 4 persons hospitalized there. So currently, these are the areas where we are monitoring more stringently. We have healthcare workers who so far have not taken the vaccine, have not produced a PCR result, and they come and they demand to come to work. That is, a challenge, because if you have an unvaccinated healthcare worker, they're putting themselves at risk, because on a daily basis they're interacting with a number of persons from the public. You don't know the status of those persons, whether they're positive or not. And the only way that you can protect yourself from infection, apart from using PPEs, is to make sure that you're vaccinated. So the stand that some people have of not protecting themselves runs counter to all the medical education that one would have received during their years of study, and runs counter to the science. So I really would urge our healthcare workers who have not been vaccinated as yet to really closely examine the issue. This is not an emotive issue. This is one where your life can be at risk, and the only way that you can protect yourself is really to get vaccinated. I do hope that good sense prevail, and that they would go and get vaccinated. And if they don't get vaccinated, then the option would be that you can present your PCR results and come to work. If you don't want to do any of those things, then you'll be marked as absent and you would not be paid. And that's our position. Today we now have 308,758 persons who have been vaccinated. These are adults, so this represents 60.2% of our adult population. We also have 159,460 persons who would have received their second dose. So this means that 31.1% of our adult population are now fully immunized. Yes, generally most people who got COVID-19 have recovered. You would know that in Guyana, we have had 20-something thousand persons who got infected with COVID, and most of them have recovered. One thing, however, that people would have to bear in mind, regardless of whether you had mild or severe forms of COVID, that there is something also that is called long COVID. So while you're free from the virus, you can continue to have problems with different systems of the body.
Well, that's it for today's COVID-19 update. We just spoke with the Honorable Minister of Health, Dr. Frank Anthony. Remember, for more information, you can log on to our website, dpi.gov.gy, and the Ministry of Health's website as well, health.gov.gy, and of course our social media platforms. And remember, this Sunday there is a COVID-19 vaccination campaign for the children population, so be sure to not miss it. It starts at around 8:30 and should go up to about 3 p.m. So log on to our website and social media platforms for further information.